Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2025. I hope the holiday season treated you well. Since the release of the iPhone 16, Apple Intelligence has been at the forefront of Apple's advertising campaign, boasting that pretty much all of their new devices can support Apple Intelligence and that it brings some crazy power to your devices that pretty much never had before. Personally, I really haven't been the biggest fan of Apple Intelligence. I don't know if it was the lack of features on release or more just my lack of effort into using the features, but recently I decided that I really wanted to take the time to actually explore Apple Intelligence and find features that improves your iPhone experience. So to start, you actually have to enable Apple Intelligence. So first, make sure that you are on at least iOS 18.1, and then you can see here, I am actually on iOS 18.2, which has some extra features. And then you just want to go ahead and enable Apple Intelligence with that little toggle switch. So starting off, we actually have the new and improved Siri. I think that this is way better than the Siri we previously had, and Siri is now capable of actually doing useful tasks, unlike Siri 1.0, which really wasn't all that great. I do find myself using Siri a little bit more now that I have the Apple Intelligence features and that Siri is actually smart enough to do things on my phone. By double tapping on the bottom of the phone, you can do type to Siri now, or you can just do the normal microphone talk to Siri. What is 4 cups in ounces? How fast is the speed of light? What is 3 miles in kilometers? I actually like the type to Siri feature because maybe if you're in a public space, you don't really want to just be talking out loud. So being able to just type in my request and have Siri actually do something useful is pretty nice to have. My absolute favorite feature of Apple Intelligence is actually the cleanup tool. You can see here that it does take a second for cleanup to initialize and actually recognize the scene, but once it does, it will automatically highlight people in the background that I don't want in my image, and instead of circling here, you can actually just tap on the auto recognized people and it will get rid of them. This picture is a great picture of the Hawaii sunset, and as you can see, it's super easy to remove people and make this image look so much better. The guy in the foreground here, I can just simply circle and delete, and it doesn't even look like there was any distortion in the image at all. And now I have a beautiful view of the sunset with no people in sight. The next feature on this list is the reduce interruptions feature. This will filter out notifications from most apps and people. You can filter people and apps that you do want to come through or any other notifications. However, by default, it will kind of filter out and give you things that are slightly important. You can see here, you turn it on just like any normal focus mode, and once you have it turned on, you're ready to go. I actually tested this feature by texting myself from my work phone, and you can see that it tells me it's, quote, maybe important. Now, I assume this is because I told myself I had a doctor's appointment tomorrow and had to get groceries, so something that's a bit more time sensitive and might need my attention instead of just filtering it down to the notification center for me to look at whenever I get to it. Next up, we have the writing tools feature, which I wasn't really a big fan of at first, and nor did I use it. But you can see here, I typed up a pretty nonchalant text with spelling errors, and writing tools is able to take this text and actually make it sound like it's worth sending to somebody important. You could just click the professional option here, and it makes a text that sounds good. You can even click back and see what the original text message is. Now, one of my more favorite features about writing tools is if you're reading a news article, you can actually highlight text within a news article and summarize it so that way you don't have to read it. It does do a pretty good job and it does have its quirks, but for the most part, if you want a list or bullet points of what you have, for instance, here is some random Kansas City weather, instead of reading the whole article, I can just get the notes and move on with my day. One of the last features that I have been actually enjoying is the camera control image search. If you hold down the camera control button, it will pull up this menu, allowing you to take a picture and do an image search for anything you take a picture of. In this case here, I actually was able to search for my keyboard, and the first result that came up was the right keyboard. Sometimes if you don't have the item in frame, like you can see here, I'm trying to take a picture of my mouse. It comes up with actually the mouse mat because that's probably what's taking up a majority of the screen. But if you can see, I move my mouse a little bit closer and zoom in, it works like a charm. There are some things where you just take an image and it doesn't have any results, and I think over time it will probably improve and eventually it'll be a really good feature to have. Overall, I think the Apple Intelligence experience is okay. The features we do have work well for the most part, and stuff like writing tools is nice to have. The camera control image search is supposed to be getting better, and they're even supposed to be improving Siri. So until we get to that point, I wouldn't say it's good or great. It's just okay. If you have any features that you wish they would have released sooner, leave them down below, or tell me what feature you were most disappointed with, because I'm genuinely curious. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.